The Beverly Center is a shopping mall in Los Angeles, California that opened in 1982. Were you a kid, teenager, adult, parent, or grandparent living in Southern California and would frequent those malls in your area? Were you a mall rat like me, where you spent your formative years people watching, socializing, or shopping at those iconic malls? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and relive those moments of yesteryears. So let's take a deep dive into the history of that mall in your neighborhood. Please leave a comment or a memory of this mall and stay tuned until the end. I want to see if you were paying attention to my video. Thanks. Before the Beverly Center opened in 1982, the site was originally occupied by a small amusement park known as Beverly Park. Beverly Park was affectionately known and referred to as Kiddyland, as it was mainly targeted at children. The Frock and Meyer Company built Beverly Park in 1943 in West Los Angeles when the park opened. In 1945, Dave Bradley purchased the park from them with his partner, Donald Kay. The park featured 12 child-sized rides as well as several restaurants, places dedicated to animals, food stands, and candy shops, featuring a Ferris wheel, a merry-go-round, and a mini roller coaster, and a pony ride called Ponyland. The land belonged to the Kiddyland amusement park. It was a place where the children of LA, who lived westish, would celebrate their birthday riding ponies, Ferris wheels, and merry-go-rounds. The lot already contained some old rides, a carousel, Dodge and bumper cars, and a Ferris wheel, abandoned by a bankrupt carnival. These were later restored by Bradley and incorporated into the new park. One of the frequent visitors of Beverly Park was Walt Disney himself. He used to bring his children there and ask them what they loved about the attractions, and he used to talk with David Bradley about the amusement park industry and its development. The two started working together soon after, when Disney hired Bradley as a consultant for 5 years, from 1950 to 1955. The park would reach its peak in popularity in the 1960s. However, by the 1970s, the park had fallen into a sharp decline. In part due to urban decay, suburban growth, and the creation and rapid growth of other new entertainment sources such as television. In addition to these broad socioeconomic trends, a range of specific factors contributed to the slow decline and consequent closure of Beverly Park in 1974. While Beverly Park was officially closed in 1974, Ponyland lasted until 1979. The 8-story, 880,000 square foot structure, located at the edge of Beverly Hills and West Hollywood between La Cienega and San Vicente Boulevards, opened on July 16, 1982. The Beverly Center was designed and built by developers A. Alfred Taubman, Sheldon Gordon, and E. Philip Lyon. The Beverly Center was originally anchored by Bullock's and the Broadway department stores. Many also recall the Bev for its then hip new restaurant, the Hard Rock Cafe, which was the first in the United States and third in the chain. In addition to serving food, it showcased both local and big bands. The Beverly Center retained a strong image as a high-end shopping center. Its other connecting restaurant was the California Pizza Kitchen. The mall was a novel attraction for all ages. It was a favorite destination for lovers of foreign and indie movies, which screened in its 14-screen multiplex on the top level. The unusual shape and lack of street frontage along San Vicente Boulevard are the result of both its position at the intersection of a number of angled streets and its location above the Salt Lake oil field. As mentioned before, the mall opening featured the debut on July 16, 1982, of a multiplex movie theater containing 14 screens, then the largest number of movie screens in any U.S. multiplex shopping mall. Even though the movie theater was located in Los Angeles, the opening was newsworthy enough to warrant a full article in the New York Times. By the late 1980s, 3 smaller screens were removed on the main floor, so 2 larger auditoriums could be built on the roof. The Beverly Center was the setting of the 1991 movie Scenes from a Mall, starring Bette Midler and Woody Allen. The mall's interior mall scenes were filmed between the Beverly Center and the Stamford Town Center in Connecticut. In 1993, Bullock's opened a separate Bullock's Men's Store. But less than 3 years later, in 1996, the Bullock's Men's Store, as well as Bullock's, would close. They would reopen, and the stores were renamed Macy's. In 1996, the Broadway closed. In 1997, Bloomingdale's would occupy the vacant Broadway building. The Beverly Center played a part of the plot near the end of the 1997 disaster thriller Volcano, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche. A triage and child care center for neighboring Cedars-Sinai Medical Center was set up in the mall's Hard Rock Cafe. This was evacuated when a geyser of lava erupted out of the San Vicente Boulevard, threatening the structure and its occupants. The Beverly Center was shown briefly in the 1997 film Selena, where Selena, played by Jennifer Lopez, and her friend went shopping at an upscale store in the mall before Selena attended the Grammy Awards. In 2004, Taubman Centers, the public real estate investment trust and successor to A. Alfred Taubman's shopping center interests, purchased its partner's minority investment stake in the property. The Beverly Center underwent a renovation from 2006 to 2008. These renovations included reconstructing the escalators visible from the outside. In 2006, the Hard Rock Cafe would close. The Beverly Center would also have its share of crime as well. On May 18, 2009, rap artist Dalla was fatally shot at the Beverly Center. The theater portion of the mall was closed altogether on June 3, 2010. The mall served as inspiration for the Rockford Plaza in the video game Grand Theft Auto V. A food court formerly operated at the mall until 2014 when it was eliminated. Uniqlo opened one of its first Southern California locations in this mall. As part of the renovation starting in 2016, the mall aims to bring restaurants back to the empty spaces on the street level. In March of 2016, the center underwent a major renovation that aimed to add a food hall and several new street-level restaurants and a skylight. Renovation costs were given about $500 million. The new center also had perforated steel facades on the outside of the building and an upgraded parking structure, which would include technology to help drivers remember where they parked. I visited this mall for the first time in November of 2023. I've been to many malls, but this was the first mall that was literally 8 stories high. With that being said, to me, it appears to be 3 levels for this mall. I came here on a Monday around noon and the mall was pretty quiet. Maybe mall traffic picks up later, or maybe on the weekends. This mall reminds me a lot of the South Coast Plaza, with a bunch of high-end stores. One thing is for sure, due to the rampant amount of shoplifting and smash and grab robberies going around this country, it is kind of refreshing to see so many mall security, as well as stores hiring their own security details to watch their stores. Maybe it's just me, but I must have counted about a dozen mall security guards walking around. I guess it's better to have too many than not enough, right? Going back to crime, in 2021, a popular podcast host named Matt George, who co-hosted She Rates Dogs, which focused on relationship advice and dating stories, was killed by a vehicle driven by a hit-and-run driver near the Beverly Center. In April of 2022, in broad daylight, Eric Jackson was putting his shopping bags into a friend's car outside the Beverly Center when he was pistol whipped by a man who demanded his $30,000 Rolex. On a lighter note, customers remember the pet store, Traffic, Sanrio, Starkey's Pizza and Cafe, La Cadeau, Sbarro's, Sam Goodies, P.F. Chang's, FAO Schwartz, the Walden Bookstore, and a fashion store called Ice. Looking at the old pictures of the escalators on the exterior of the mall, the escalator tubes reminded me of the ones similar to the ones found at Universal Studios Hollywood. Those tubes have since been removed and replaced with glass walls. It is a very unique look and the first thing I noticed when I left the parking lot. Overall, I really like the mall. It is very spacious and clean and very bright and welcoming. Although with the interior of the mall being white and kind of silver, it reminds me of a very sterile and plain place. Looking at older pictures of it, the mall before was brown and dark. The Beverly Center, contrary to what its name might suggest, is not in Beverly Hills. The Los Angeles Times once described this mall in a 1990 article. The Beverly Center suggests a modern version of a castle keep, a castle devoted entirely to retailing. The lower levels are reserved for parking. The shops on the upper levels are reached by distinctive glassed-in escalators with views of the hills. The Beverly Center is unique in that it has a very strong image. People know what it stands for. This is definitely not a cookie-cutter mall. Today, the 800,000 square foot mall has over 90 stores and services. It's anchored by Macy's, Macy's Men's Store, and Bloomingdale's. Congratulations, you made it this far into the video.
When I find you.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
So let's see how close you were paying attention to my video. So how many anchor stores closed in this mall? So if your answer is 3, give yourself a hand. You were paying attention. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.